Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Rio here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what you guys should be doing between AR 30, 35, and 40. Practically quite simple between 30 and 35, and then 35 to 40 takes a little bit more preparation. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now for my AR 30 people, I always tell them to utilize their resin first. Now I'm here by the fire boss for the sake of example. Everybody nowadays should have Jingling to ascend, so getting the fire bots as early as possible is a priority. Now I'm going to be using Chongyun for an example. Here he is at level 50. Now the reason why you want to utilize your resin is so you can start getting these character ascension materials as quick as possible. I had friends of mine that didn't really know what to do with their resin, so they would just run ley lines, which is also an option. But if you can utilize the resin to get the character ascension materials and the weapon materials as well, it's even better. Let's say it's leveled up, but you don't have enough mats to level it up. You can click this little button here, and it will show you what you need for the next ascension, as well as talent grades. Now, you're going to need these books. I'm sure you have a lot from collecting chests and quests and whatnot. But if you don't have the books, just click on it and it'll tell you what day you need it on. Let's say you're the day of the book, just click on it and it'll take you to the domain. If not, this little thing will pop up. Now, another quick thing that I forgot to mention is that when you go to the map and you look at your total resin up here, there's a little plus button. When you click on it, it gives you the option to replenish original resin with 50 primos, and then it costs 100, and then 150, 150, then 200, and 200. So it gets very expensive the more you do it. My personal recommendation is refresh at least once every single day until you hit, I don't know, maybe AR 45. That way, you're getting 60 resin every single day more than normal. 50 primos is not very hard to get. You get 40 from the daily, and then I'm sure you can get 10 from chests and whatnot, events, so on and so forth. So I would highly, highly recommend do the first refresh every single day and then go on from there. If you're spending money on the game, that's up to you. You spend as many as you want. If you're a whale, always, always 6-time refresh. If not, don't even worry about it. Alright, so the next thing you want to focus on is these daily quests. Now, they're going to be in purple. I'm here with my buddy of mine. I already did my dailies, so shout out to Chicho. But here, these dailies are pretty simple. There's like 31 different ones, I believe. So this one's pretty simple. Just kill the enemies. Basically, just kill them. Pretty self-explanatory. So you're going to want to do all of these every single day. Even me, I'm about to hit AR 51, and the biggest thing that's carrying me in XP is the dailies, aside from the resin, of course. Now, once you're done with all your dailies, you used up all your resin, it's time to explore. For example, I'm here helping out my friend find some chests, and basically, here's a precious chest. There's a bunch of these all over the world, precious, exquisite, common. I'm sure you've opened a lot of those on your own, so this is a really big main portion of your XP. I have found over 1,200 chests myself. Basically, farm chests. Nothing too big there. Now, after you're done collecting all these chests, you're going to be finding a bunch of these out in the world. These little Sealies. I call them ghost boys. You're going to want to find as many as you can, because they always reward you with a chest or even sometimes an exquisite chest. Just waiting for my partner to show you guys. Of course it goes this way. But basically, just follow these to the home place. Wow, this one's huh. And finally, we get to his home. Ghost Boy finally made it home, and boom, you get a chest. So I'm not sure how many exactly are there in the world, but there's at least over 100, so you want to make sure that you get all of those. And a couple more things between 30 and 35 before we get to the 35 to 40 preparation. You want to make sure that you have completed all of the side quests and world quests. As you see here, I have absolutely none. You can look up a map online somewhere where it'll show you where all the side quests are, so make sure you do them, as well as these quests that you get these keys from your daily missions. So make sure you're doing these as well. But you won't get those till a little later, so don't worry too much about that. The last thing that you really want to do in between all of these things is making sure that you get all of the Oculus. I know what you're thinking. The Oculus are a pain in the ass, and they are. They're pretty awful. There's 131 Geoculus, this is why I have an extra one, and there's 66 Animoculus. I don't exactly know where the extra one is. I was looking for it for a bit, but to no avail. So you're going to want to make sure that you have all of these. There's an interactive map that I'm going to link down below that you can use and follow along and collect all of them. And now that you're AR35, you're starting to kind of understand that the difficulty is slowly but surely ramping up. And let me tell you, when you hit AR40, the difficulty spikes for sure. Now, I see a lot of videos actually say that it's a trap and that you don't want to increase your world level, and I absolutely disagree with that. You want to immediately level up your world level as soon as you get to that ascension. Now, the reason why is that you get better drops from not only the world bosses, from the actual mobs themselves. So we're going to be taking a look at Diona here, right? So let's say your main DPS is level 70 and you want to start preparing right away for level 80. So like I said earlier, the biggest thing that you want to do is focus on your character ascension materials. So for Diona's case, I need to just do the ice boss a bunch of times and pray to RNG that maybe I get a couple of these so I won't have to run it so many times. That's why I said earlier, the sooner that you do these world bosses, the easier it is to level it up. It also applies to all of your weapons, and it also applies to your talents as well. Now, you're probably thinking, well, hey, Ryu, I probably need some artifacts. And you're right, to a certain extent. I wouldn't necessarily worry about artifacts until you start hitting 40 or you're close to 40. I would say if you're 35, just use whatever pieces you have for the longest time. I know you guys get a lot of defense percent gear because it's just the greatest, am I right? So for me, whenever I got a piece like this, slap it on a Noel, or maybe you have a purple piece, just slap it on a character with whatever main stat that you need, right? So during 30, 35, you really don't need to worry about artifacts too much. I recommend just doing the world bosses, cubes, plants, and also the water boss. And then just use Gladiator and Wanderer's Troop is the best idea. Now, once you hit AR40, that's when you can start grinding artifacts. Now, for example, we're taking a look at the Hidden Palace of Shu formula. I don't know Chinese, sorry. But basically, you see at level 30, you get these rewards up here, the first one. At 35, you unlock these, so a greater chance to get purples. And the biggest reason why you want to start farming at 40 is because it starts dropping the 5-star gear. Now, on average, I would say I probably got a 5-star piece about 30 to 40% of the time. You can get lucky and get like 4 pieces in a row, whatever. But sometimes you do 4 runs in a row and not get a single gold. So at 40 is really when you want to start grinding artifacts because you don't really want to be stuck using purples. Although purples are fantastic. As you saw my sucrose earlier, I had purple gear and it was usable. But once you start hitting AR40, you want to start grinding for these artifacts, more so than just doing cubes and plants. Now, if you have some fragile resin, let me see if I actually have any here. I don't have any. But at this point, you probably should be saving your fragile resin until you hit AR40. Some people like to save it till 45 because they get the guaranteed 5 drops, but that's for another time. So I used about, I want to say maybe 15 of the fragile resin moons, the little items. I'll put a picture up here so you know what I'm talking about. You want to use that, some of them. I wouldn't say all of them, but definitely use some to kind of boost your artifact gain because you want to get as strong as possible as soon as you hit AR40. Because you're going to notice how enemies are getting a lot stronger. They're doing a lot more damage. And so, you want to get as strong as possible, as quick as possible. Now, I always recommend building 1 to 2 characters. For my case, I did Mona and Sucrose, and then I had Jingling and Fischl as my other 4 damage dealers. The supports for healers, I had Noelle and Barbara. For a long, long time, I used Barbara until I got Diona. Then I swapped everything to Diona. But you want to make sure that your main carry, so in my case, Mona, and then you have like a secondary damage dealer, so like Xingling. Those two characters are getting the best artifacts possible. So when you start doing, you want to go higher into Abyss, or maybe you're having trouble with the Wolf boss or Dvalin, it'll be a lot easier the second time around. Get what I mean? So just focus on 1 to 2 characters, especially at 40, because you want those 2 characters to be as strong as possible again. And then your healers are really, really easy to build. Some HP, some healing bonus, and you're good to go. Now, just a quick recap of everything that we talked about. You want to utilize your resin, the first resin refill. You want to make sure that you're doing your daily commissions every single day. While you're leveling up, you want to collect chests, the Ghost Boys, challenges, balloon challenges, all of that good stuff out in the open world, as well as story quests, world quests, side quests, all of that fun stuff. Now, all of this stuff does take time, so don't think that you're going to just immediately hit AR 40 one day to another, because that's not what this game was built around. Explore, have fun with the game, and take it slow. I myself went pretty hard in the beginning, so now I'm close to 51, but I've definitely slowed down a lot ever since hitting 45. So definitely take it as slow as possible. Now, it's time for me to go. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you guys have any other questions, maybe you didn't understand a part of the video, please let me know in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.